All right, everybody, welcome in. We are doing our first live show, running a little bit behind schedule tonight, but there's no better time than the present. I'm lucky enough to have three gentlemen on here to talk about some local high school teams of interest. Usually the three teams in Etowah County that usually gets the most, I guess you'd say, pub. Usually a Southside, Etowah, and Gadsden City. We're definitely welcoming other people. If you reach out to us with, from Hopes Bluff, Glencoe, whatever, even Boaz, anywhere in and around the viewing area, to come on and talk about your team at any time. Tonight we have Dax Nunn in, who's actually he's actually on the coaching staff at Southside. I have my good man Reggie right here. This man right here knows more football than most people have forgotten. He's going to talk about Gadsden City, and Shannon Wood, who you already know is a huge Gator fan and Etowah fan, and he's been to every Etowah game but what, two?
Yeah, about two in the last 3 years.
The last 3 years, and real good friends with the coaching staff and some of the players. So without talking too much, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out. We had a video sent in to us by Miss Kelly Black, a friend of mine I've known for several years. Her son is in 8th grade, starting on varsity. He's 6'3". He weighs right at 255, 260. First play of the game at defensive end, he jumped on a fumble. She's super excited about the video. I love it, a kid that young getting on the field in general.
Right.
And sending in videos like that, that's exactly what we want. And I appreciate you for doing that, Kelly. So Mr. Aaron Wood is his name. So look forward for a bright future for that kid. So without any other hesitation, I'm going to go ahead and let Reggie talk a little bit about Gadsden City and what's coming up. They definitely got a new coach, head coach in there. They lost some, but they also gained some players.
Yeah.
So just dive into Gadsden City right off the bat for us.
Well, Bart Sessions is the coach of Gadsden City. It's his second year. Last year was pretty rough, but they went 3-7. They had a lot of issues to work out, but he's definitely got them on a good path. I spoke with him today, and he said the main thing that they're working on is really changing the culture of the program and setting high standards, because really, if you're going to build a program, that's where you got to start.
Absolutely.
He feels pretty good about this team, and they're definitely ready to dive into the season going against Etowah tomorrow night. And his thoughts about that game, he feels like it's a good game for the kids and the schools in both communities, because they are, two of the largest schools in this county, and the Gadsden Etowah rivalry goes back. It goes back. I remember, my senior year, that semifinal game, 3 overtimes. 12,000 people in Murphy Stadium. And I think it's going to be the same way tomorrow night. And I'm looking forward to it. And talked to the offensive coordinator as well. And his main thing, he said that about this game tomorrow night, it's going to be a playoff environment, and that's what they need, to start the season off, because, when you get into this big school playoff, you're going to run into some hostile crowds, and Etowah definitely has that. So
one thing I thought was pretty huge is Etowah being ranked number 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big challenge, but also a tremendous opportunity.
Right.
If Gadsden City goes over there and steals this game with Etowah ranked number 2, what kind of confidence does that go moving forward?
Yeah. And they have a young team. They have some young players, but they also have some, guys with experience coming back. I guess their main players, Jamontez Woods, at running back, he's got 16 offers right now. And and he's only got one SEC offer from Ole Miss, but Coach Sessions says he's definitely an SEC type running back.
Good thing is he gets a chance to prove that.
Exactly. I know he's went to camp at Auburn. They're impressed with him. He's on Alabama's radar. I think they're just waiting to see what kind of season he's going to have and before they make an offer. But I've been talking to him off and on Twitter throughout the summer. He's got his head on straight. He's a good kid, and we're looking for big things from him at running back. Also, quarterback situation was a little iffy. They're going to play 2 guys at quarterback, and both of them were juniors.
Sparks still there?
Sparks graduated last year.
He did graduate last year.
He did, yeah. They've got 2 young guys. Both of them look pretty good in the spring game. Mark Heaton, which is the offensive coordinator, he's new. This is his first year. He came from Russellville. He said that
they got a great program.
Oh yeah. He just wanted to take a step back from coaching for a little bit. Being a head coach. So I think that was a really good hire for Gadsden City.
Oh yeah, that's definitely great hire.
You know, he said that both quarterbacks they both bring something different to the table. You know, and he's got and a good thing about that playing two quarterbacks, they've got some experienced receivers as well. So I'm just, you know, like I said, they feel pretty good about this year. Their main goal is win that state championship like any other team.
I mean, look how close they were just a few years ago. They had Hoover at home.
Yeah. I mean, that game,
one game away.
Yeah, I mean, they had Hoover, you know, in check for a whole entire half, and they went into halftime, you know, with momentum. You know, you block a field goal right at, you know, as time expires, and then, you know, it's like, okay, you know, and you know, one of their biggest things, and I think they're fixing that at Gadsden City, when they make a mistake, it's just like it just kills their whole, you know, momentum. It's just, you know, it's just like they just give up. So I think Coach Sessions and Coach Heaton, they've been working on that.
That's good.
You know, so, you know, when you make a mistake, just, you know, you gotta just pick it up and brush it off and move on.
I thought that's huge. The first thing you said is that's the culture, man.
Yeah.
That starts, you build a team from the inside out.
Oh yeah.
That's the foundation and you move forward.
Yeah, you know, and Coach Sessions, he's been around successful programs. He was defensive coordinator at Daphne back when they won state. They giving up like 10 points a game. He was at Spain Park. He was head coach of McGill Tulin. He kind of got them going on where they are now. You know, he kind of got that train going. So he's been around some really good programs, and he knows how to win.
Yeah,
he knows what it takes.
It's the Hoover of the South.
yeah. You know, so like I said, they're excited, and I'm excited, and you know, this is like I was telling Dax earlier. This is my happy time.
I think everybody in this room loves high school football. I think everybody in this house, even the kids, love high school football. Man, what do you think? Just give me a little breakdown of that Etowah game. What do you think is going to happen?
It's going to be close in the first half. Both teams, you know, they've been wanting this game for a while now, and we got it back. And I think it's going to be a close first half. The second half I think, is where the depth is going to come into play. And Gadsden City is going to probably pull away in the second half.
I like shots fired.
Hey, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, it's a good, healthy friend around.
I like where your head's at that. I appreciate you bringing on, man, talking about Gadsden City. That's huge.
Problem.
I think they got a big future ahead of them. Sure, they definitely got a coaching staff that's got the pedigree to get them to that next level. And, you know, let's be honest, a break here or there in that Hoover game a few years ago, and they win that game, this is a whole other conversation we're having.
Exactly.
There's no doubt about that. That being said, I'm going to dive into Southside a little bit. You guys had an outstanding quarterback in Gavin that graduates at West Alabama now, correct? What do you guys got? Who do you got coming in to replace him?
We got Michael Rich coming in to replace him. He played backup quarterback last year.
I actually seen him play a couple.
Yeah, he's a real tall kid. He got a cannon for an arm. I mean, you know, it's truly he can throw football over those mountains.
He's like Uncle Rico. He's a football quarterback.
He's done a real good job stepping in for us. Since the spring. I mean, you know, we really needed him to step up, and he knew he had to step up. And we're just really proud of the direction he's leading the team. He's a team leader.
That's good, man.
And if something doesn't go right, he brings it back to the huddle, and that's water on the bridge. The last play, let's focus on the next play. And that's what we really need.
Stability
going into a season where we're really young.
I mean, let's be honest, man. They had I went to a couple of Southside games. They were just inches away in a couple of games last year. You know, they could have went either way.
Well, I mean, I wasn't on the staff last year, but I can say this, speaking for Coach Daugherty and everybody, I think that was on the staff. I mean, that team started out 0-4 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like he said in the timeout with the Times, that they had to find themselves, and I think for them to finish out 4-6. After starting out 0-4 was really a great accomplishment. Hated they missed the playoffs, but a lot of those guys on that team had to find themselves. And then if it does take 2 or 3 games, it really hurts you when you're starting out 0-2, 0-3. But for them to be able to, like I said, finish out 4-6 was really a major accomplishment. And we look to carry that momentum into this season.
The one thing I noticed last year about Southside. It just seemed like kind of like what Reggie said. A lot of times when things would go bad, they would kind of get that down on themselves a little bit. Mm-hmm. But they hung in there and fighting a lot of games, and some games they were outmatched and didn't perform so good. But it seemed like they were a team like that. When everything's going good, they start rolling, clicking, and then when one or two things would go bad, then boom, it's down. You know, and then they would play teams. You know, they play teams that they should have been beat by pretty bad. They played them tough, and then teams they should have killed, they let in the game. And, but you know, that goes with the culture, like you said. And I mean, one thing about Southside, man, they're always tough, and you always play them at home, and you guys go down the road and play Lincoln
Friday night.
Yeah,
so I think that we expect them to be really good. The guy I worked with last year at Westbrook Christian is their new offensive coordinator, Will Hill. He was the head coach at Glencoe for a long time, and he was an assistant coach at Glencoe under Osmond for a long time. And that's what I told our guys. I said, they may not match up equally to us, but they're going to hit you in the mouth for 60 minutes.
Especially at home.
And,
opening game, they'll be ready to play.
And they're going to be ready to play. And we expect that. I think our whole offensive line, and not just our offensive line, but our whole offensive unit, we're young. I think we have one significant starter back on offense, and that's Cat Lockwell.
That's huge.
And I think that it's going to be it's going to be tough. I think but those young guys have really stepped in and have felt the void. We had to replace Gavin Orr and some other guys.
I'm gonna speak on one of your players that I work out with personally at Absolute and have been for a while. It's Hunter Zucchelli. That guy's busted his butt. He's actually took on, he would go work out with his dad now. His dad's a state trooper, real strong guy. He's actually got some national records as far as firemen and policemen out at Vegas. So he's getting trained by a really, stout, strong guy. And one thing I noticed about Hunter is even when he get through working out with us, he'd go there with the CrossFitters, like the ABT team at Absolute, and work out with him. He actually went up to the Rivals camp in Tennessee for a weekend. I thought that was huge, And I told him to keep his head in there, and he's lost some weight. And he put some time in the weight room, so maybe it'll pan out for him going into this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think that his time has finally come. He's sat back the last 3 seasons and had to watch somebody ahead of him, and I think he's really took that in and learned from it.
That's good, man.
He's really took the bull by the horns. We got Coach Rose as our offensive line coach. Larry Rose
played him since.
When you don't get any better than that. And a couple of weeks ago, he really pushed him, and he said, "I pushed you to that point because we got to find out what you got." And I think that. Zucchelli was the guy in there that was pushing those guys, and he's really took the offensive line like I said, took the bull by the horns. He's become the leader of the offensive line.
That's awesome, dude. He's got the frame. He's got it all, man. He's got some people, looking at him now too. And I've sent out. I got a couple of little feeders I've sent out for him, and plugged a little birdie here and there for him. But hopefully, he can do it. What about defensively? What are we looking at?
I think defensively, I don't really mean to offend anybody around here, but I think we got the best defensive tackle in the county.
That's awesome.
Hunter Moon, that man's a gorilla.
That's awesome.
That guy is a beast, and that's really, I don't really say that about a lot of kids, but he's a hard worker, and I think he's going to do a lot of good things on defense, and I think it's going to be hard for us to contain him. And that's what. Excites me about our centers. I told our center, I tell him every day in practice, you're not going to face anybody, I believe, that's any better than he is. You're not going to see anybody any better. He's just got the physique and everything about him that's, really makes him an awesome player.
That's awesome.
We're not as young on defense as we are on offense, but we're still young. We had a lot of guys come out that play different sports, baseball, basketball, that decided their senior year they want to play football. And they've really stepped in and done an amazing job. But we're really excited about the region that we're in, and we're getting, the last 2 or 3 years, and Coach Daugherty talked on this when they had media day. When you played the same teams the last couple of years, you had Oxford, and they're stout. And, there was 1 year that that Southside should have beat Oxford.
Oh yeah, I remember
that 1 year at Barney Hood. We're glad that we're in a different region. We got Douglas and Alexandria. My good friend Todd Yen, he's the head football coach over there now. He's
played against him in high school.
This will be the first year he's took one. Been the head football coach, so I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to have them come in October and play us, and I just think we're really excited about the new region we're in.
Dude, that's good news. Good report from Southside, man. I appreciate you coming on and doing that. Shannon, that brings us to the Etowah Blue Devils.
Etowah.
And when you talk about Etowah, this recent Etowah, you have to look no further than the kickoff Pigskin Classic, and it's loaded with Etowah defenders. You want to start right there on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, the defensive side of the ball is going to be, they're stout. It's insane, and they have kids getting recruited, and having a lot of young guys back there too, out on the edges, and You got Nana Davis out there at one corner, and he stepped in last year after an injury. Maybe I don't know if it's halfway through the season, maybe later on, and he made some big plays. He grew up in about a game or two. I mean, it took him literally that much, and he can flip to the other side of the ball and be a video game running back too. It's insane watching over there. But defensively, you got first of all, it starts with the line. You got Trey Cole, you got Alex Howard, and then of course you have Jamin Graham, which I'm sure probably most people around here know Jamin. Great kids, all of them. First of all, they're all great kids. Like I know, I don't know Alex that well, but the other two I know really well, and they're great kids. They have great parents, respectful parents, and they're really they're the bread and butter of that team. They can get there, put pressure on it, which actually makes in return makes the defensive backs better, as we all know. And I will say their defense coordinator over there, he is a buddy of mine, but when you talk Etowah football, that guy is passionate. I mean, he's a Blue Devil. He wants them to do well, and he teaches them the right things. You won't see, for instance, you got a linebacker, Jaron Wright, kid's 6 foot, 170 according to this thing. He may be a little bigger than that, and he plays linebacker as good as any linebacker you'll see in this area. I mean, he's disciplined. He's been coached well. He knows what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be somewhere. He's always there. Carter Dingler, same thing. Now he's a little bigger kid, and he's fast. He can cover. And then you throw Justin Harris back there, and you got Emil Smith who'll slide out to a safety or a corner, and that's a pretty formidable defense. Quite possibly, maybe could be a little better than last year with the experience you have coming back. I know you lost a couple players. In the middle, it's really, and this is my opinion, Trey Cole is really going to have to step up.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to command a lot of double teams this year that maybe he didn't see last year. But I think he's more than capable of doing it. I think he's ready. He's been built for this. It's his senior year, so it's time for him to step up, and I think he will. I think he respond well. Real emotional player. He makes plays in the backfield all the time, but can he deal with the role change of maybe taking on a double team and letting the other lineman come in and make a play? If he can do that and be okay with that, I think they'll be just fine. I think the linebackers will do their jobs. The defensive backs, again, their jobs are a little easier because the defensive line can put so much pressure on the quarterback. But at the same time, if they need to step up, I feel like they can. By far, I think the strength of the team.
DBs,
they're nasty. Like I said, they're nasty. You got Emil out there. You put Justin Harris, who I believe he's committed to Vanderbilt.
Randy.
Yeah. Committed to Vandy.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean he's a stud.
He's about an SEC coming after you. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean he's a stud. He's always around the ball. It's insane to sit and watch a game because he's, even if you think he's out of position, he's really not. I mean he's there, and you're like, gosh, he's big, and he just comes out of nowhere, and he's a great player. Really respectful kid. Also, it's a funny story. We saw him in the mall, and my kids, yell Justin, just he doesn't know who they are from, he doesn't know. But he's in the middle of the mall with his mama, and he turns around and waves at him, and I think Butler may gave him a gator chomp or two in there too. But anyways, they're all good kids, man, and that's what I like about them the most is they play for each other, they play as a unit. You'll see them celebrate together. You don't see the selfishness out there, and it's awesome. It's been really fun to watch. Last year was outstanding to watch. Went up there to Briarwood, and didn't play terrible up there, but you ran into in my opinion,
buzzsaw.
Yeah, buzzsaw. I mean that was crazy.
Machines, man.
They were. And you'll flip over.
You'll flip over to the offensive side.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of a quarterback. I don't know if you call it controversy. I think they're going to use both. I heard, and Ricky, they can use it receiver as well and have both of them on the same field at the same time. But Troop's a pretty good athlete himself, and his dad's a heck of a coach. And I remember his granddad ran the Mountain Rams for years and years, and he was one of the best football coaches around here. He just never did it at the high school level. So the kid's got a good pedigree. So talk a little bit about the quarterback situation.
They're nice. I mean, it's a good situation to have. To me, it's a lot like an Alabama situation where DeRicky gets out there and he's really done nothing wrong. I mean, he's made big plays. He's got a cannon for an arm. When he gets in trouble, he runs for the yards he needs, and he's gotten the job done. Well, then you got Troop behind him who throws a really nice ball. I've sat there and watched him at practices or on the sidelines throwing, and his footwork's outstanding. He's got a nice arm, and I can see it working well for them. The offensive line, you have Newsome at center, and he's solid. He's an anchor right there, and then you got a couple guys from defensive line that flip over. to play offense. And I know they got a new offensive line coach, and he was.
Reggie talked about that depth.
Yeah. I mean, it could say, if that happens, I won't be surprised, honestly. But I think, I think Greeky's going to start. I think we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe just to see if the line can hold up and if we need him to scramble a little bit. And I'm not sure we won't see some troop in there. It may wind up being a 2 quarterback system.
I think they're going to roll the pocket with him some and get him on the move. And
there's no doubt. You got, Nana Harris, Davis, like I said, he's a video game out there. Watch him, and I know Boaz and Gadsden City are 2 different schools, but first, I think that was the first game he played. Dude had, I want to say, nearly 200 yards rushing. And it was around for one half, and he had an 80-yarder called back. And he's like a video game. Trent Davis will run the ball some. And he's not a big kid, but he runs it as hard. He runs it like a 200-pound running back. So that'll be a by committee thing. It won't be like last year when you had two kids that could carry the rock 25 carries a game.
And they had that luxury last couple
yes,
of years.
They'll have to, and in my opinion, they'll have to take a different approach. I mean, that's, again, I'm sitting here on Average Joe's broadcast, and they're coaching high school football, so they obviously know more than I do. They know more than I do. But in my opinion, they'll have to change their strategy, and hopefully they will, and I hope it's a great game. If Etowah is going to get Gadsden City, it have to be this year. And I honestly,
I'm putting you on the spot, Wood. So.
Well, here's the thing. We talk about, we know how big this rivalry is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have kids on the Etowah side of the ball that are kind of young, and they may not,
embrace it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if embrace is the word, but they may just be dumb enough to walk up there and play Gadsden City like they're, another team from around this area and pull it out. I could see that happening, and I'm gonna tell you, the Etowah fan in me, I hope we do. And I'll be sitting there with my family, and we'll be cheering and sitting over by the band because my daughter likes to watch cheerleaders, and
Let's hear it. Put him on the spot.
I'm gonna say the defense causes a couple turnovers, puts us in good spots, and Etowah wins 27-20.
Woo, I like it.
27-20. I think they can do it. If they do it, this is going to be the year.
It's got to be the
year. It does, yeah, absolutely. And again, if the depth, if your prediction runs up coming out, then I won't be surprised. I say that's a great point. But I hope this is the year.
We're about to close this video down. We're gonna let Dax be the tiebreaker here. We gotta have a third. From outside looking in,
Look, okay, listen. I'm up there at Southside, okay? I can't go with that.
Yeah, he can't. I would have been disappointed.
You'll be fired tomorrow.
You
won't have a job tomorrow.
I honestly though, from a coaching standpoint, I won't be at the Etowah game. I'm gonna try to go and see what we play Hopes Bluff next week. They play Pleasant Valley. Would like to go see Etowah Gadsden City. I know it'll be a great game. Two great teams, 2 great coaches. But I think that. In my mind, I think that's going to be an issue for Etowah. I think that, Justin Harris and Jamin Graham and Alex Howard, those are all 3 great big playmakers and, 3 great kids. I mean, I understand that Etowah and Southside's a big rivalry, but I have nothing bad to say about those guys. And Troop is he's a great kid as well. But I think that I think that Graham and Howard and those guys, Harris, I think they're going to give Gadsden City a run for their money, and if a few breaks goes Etowah's way, then Etowah wins it. But if depth comes into play and you have to have fresh legs, I got Gadsden City taking it.
What do you got? 16, 14? What do you got?
I think it. With the defense that Etowah has and the defense that Gadsden City's going to have, anchored by Donnie Ryan and all those guys down there. I think that it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I'm looking at a 17-14, 20-17 kind of game. Mm-hmm. But if I have to make a prediction for you, I'm going to go 17-14. I'm going to take Gadsden City with it.
There you have it, folks. A little bit long on this one, but I'm going to tell you something. Thank you guys for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Super in-depth high school coverage, which we promised we would do. Mm-hmm. I didn't know we was going to have this in-depth. I got me jacked up. I'm about ready to run out of the tunnel. But anyways, this Average Joe Sports Talk. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell beside it. Get any new notifications we have. We are live on Facebook. Soon as this video stops, we're going to upload it on Facebook later on tonight. You guys have a great night. Thank you.